Domestic violence is a pattern of behavior used to establish power and control over someone. It often includes the use of threats or violence. Domestic violence can include physical, emotional, financial, or sexual abuse. Domestic violence is a crime. The law in Ohio defines domestic violence as physical abuse or threats of immediate physical harm. You do not need to be married to the abuser to be protected by the law. It includes any family or household member. If you are currently experiencing abuse and are in immediate danger, call 911 for help. If you have been abused and you would like to file a police report, you should file a report in the city where the abuse happened. In Cleveland, you can call 216-621-1234, or you can go to a police district in person. If you are experiencing physical abuse or threats of harm, you have the right to request a protection order. This tells the abuser to stop abusing, harassing, or contacting you. If you have children, protection orders may also include them. A protection order may also keep the abuser from entering your home, require the abuser to pay monthly support, or arrange custody for children. It is important to keep in mind that the details of your protection order will depend on the facts of your case. If the protection order is violated by the abuser, it is a crime. If a protection order is violated, you should contact the police. There are two different types of protection orders: criminal and civil. This type of protection order is also called a temporary protection order, or a TPO. You can get a TPO in criminal court after an arrest has been made and after charges have been filed against the abuser. This is called a temporary protection order because it ends after the abuser is sentenced, if the case is dismissed, or when the case ends. If the case ends and you still need protection, you can file for a civil protection order. If there is not a criminal case against the abuser, but you need protection, you can file for a civil protection order. There must be recent physical abuse or threats of harm to get a civil protection order. To get a civil protection order, you must go to court and file paperwork stating there is domestic violence. It is helpful to keep a log of the abuse to use when requesting a civil protection order. The court will review the facts of the case to decide if a protection order will be granted. If you are granted a civil protection order, it can be valid for up to 5 years and can be renewed if needed. It is strongly encouraged that you obtain an attorney when filing for a protection order. Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center, DVCAC, can provide referral information for attorneys if needed. Call the DVCAC helpline to request an advocate who can explain the process for getting a protection order. The helpline number is 216-391-4357. Individuals on the helpline are trained to receive video phone and TTY calls. As a domestic violence victim, you have the right to have an advocate. An advocate is a trained professional that can provide safety planning, information, and support. You have the right to have an advocate whether or not a police report or charges are filed. If you are involved in the court process, you can have an advocate at any time and when requesting a protection order. Depending if you live inside or outside Cleveland city limits, advocates are available through DVCAC or Witness Victim Service Center. Advocates will honor your request for interpreting services and collaborate with the Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center, CHSC, to ensure effective interactions. Based on the law, someone can only be arrested for domestic violence when there's physical abuse or threats of immediate physical harm. Even if you are not experiencing physical abuse, there are still services available outside of the criminal justice system. You can receive services like counseling or support groups, even if the police or court are not involved. Interpreters and other accommodations can be provided upon request for any of these services. Call the 24-hour DVCAC helpline 216-391-4357 at any time to discuss options and support services available. You can also contact CHSC for additional information and referral.